As the 2025 NFL Draft draws near, the San Francisco 49ers find themselves in one of the most interesting and pivotal draft situations in recent franchise memory. After exploring potential options at pick number 11 and hypothetical trade-back scenarios, attention now turns to the most electrifying possibility of all, a trade-up. And while trading up is always a high-stakes maneuver, the current landscape of the draft and the urgent needs of the 49ers might just make this bold strategy a legitimate path to greatness. General Manager John Lynch has shown over the years that he's not afraid to take risks when the opportunity feels right. The 49ers have been aggressive in past drafts, and with Kyle Shanahan and Lynch both in win-now mode, but also building for the future, it wouldn't be shocking to see the 49ers pull the trigger on a bold trade to move up in the first round. There are two particular trade-up zones that make sense, depending on the type of impact player the team is targeting and how the draft board unfolds. One possible window lies at pick number 3, currently held by the New York Giants. This move would be expensive, but depending on how the top of the draft plays out, it might just be worth the cost. The consensus is that the Tennessee Titans are locked in on quarterback Cam Ward, who has not only impressed scouts with his arm strength and poise but has now won over the public eye with wide receiver Treylon Burks declaring him a top 4 wide receiver in the league, a nod of confidence to the chemistry the two share. If Ward goes number 1, that immediately opens the door for chaos. Suddenly, two elite prospects, Travis Hunter, the electric two-way star, and Abdul Carter, the dominant pass rusher from Penn State, could fall just a few spots. Cleveland picks at number 2, and depending on whether they prioritize shoring up their defense alongside Myles Garrett or adding a playmaker to their secondary, one of those names could slip to the 3rd pick. That might be all Lynch needs to pick up the phone and engage with Giants GM Joe Schoen to talk business. In New York, the pressure is mounting. Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen are very much on the hot seat after a tumultuous 2024 season filled with quarterback inconsistency and a lack of identity on both sides of the ball. Ideally, the Giants would love to draft a quarterback to begin a new era, but after Cam Ward, there's a steep drop-off in consensus evaluation. Jackson Dart, Shedeur Sanders, and even Tyler Shaw have all been discussed as potential top 15 quarterbacks, but none of them carry the surefire grade to justify a top 3 pick. That puts the Giants in a precarious position. Do they reach for a quarterback at 3 and risk alienating an already skeptical fanbase? Or do they trade down, potentially to number 11, gain a future first-round pick to buy themselves more time, and still land one of the mid-tier quarterback prospects while filling additional roster holes? The latter might be their only chance at job security, especially in the eyes of ownership. Enter San Francisco. If the 49ers are eyeing Abdul Carter, and he's available at number 3, this is the moment. Carter has skyrocketed up draft boards after a dominant season at Penn State, where he recorded 12.5 sacks, 66 pressures, and 23.5 tackles for loss. His relentless motor, explosive get-off, and ability to disrupt both the run and pass game make him a perfect long-term pairing with Nick Bosa on the edge. With the 49ers looking to reinvent their defense under returning defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, a disruptive force like Carter could be the centerpiece of that transformation. Should Cleveland snatch Carter to pair with Garrett and double down on edge dominance, the 49ers wouldn't be disappointed to pivot to Travis Hunter. While Hunter is a unicorn, a true two-way college star, there are questions about whether he can maintain that level of two-way dominance in the NFL. But even if Shanahan uses him exclusively at cornerback, Hunter still projects as a potential all-pro talent. His length, instincts, athleticism, and ball skills are elite, and his presence would immediately elevate a 49ers secondary that already includes Deommodore Lenoir and promising rookie Renardo Green. More than that, Shanahan would have the luxury of a secret weapon. Even if it's just 15 to 20 snaps per game on offense, Hunter could become a versatile weapon in motion packages, trick plays, and situational matchups. In a Kyle Shanahan offense, that type of flexibility is invaluable. Of course, moving up to the 3rd pick will not come cheap. The 49ers would almost certainly have to part with future high picks, potentially a 2026 first and maybe even a second-rounder, depending on how many teams are bidding for that spot. That's the cost of landing an elite prospect. But if Lynch believes Carter or Hunter could be a franchise cornerstone, the price may be justified. If the cost of jumping to number 3 proves too steep, there's a more realistic and still impactful option, trading up to number 8 with the Carolina Panthers. This is a scenario that makes a lot of sense for both parties. The Panthers currently have 9 picks in this year's draft and are in the midst of a multi-year rebuild. They lack talent across the board and could benefit from sliding back a few spots to add more picks. For the 49ers, it presents a much more affordable path to land a player who might have unexpectedly slid a few spots. Who would be worth the move at number 8? 3 names come to mind: Mason Graham, Will Campbell, and Armand Membou. Mason Graham is a game-wrecker on the interior defensive line, the type of player who can collapse pockets and wreck run schemes from the inside out. He brings shades of Chris Jones in his game, and putting him next to Javon Hargrave and behind Fred Warner could make this 49ers front terrifying once again. After a somewhat underwhelming 2024 in terms of defensive interior pressure, San Francisco could see Graham as the missing link. Will Campbell offers a potential long-term answer at left tackle. With Trent Williams aging and battling injuries, the 49ers know they need to start thinking about the future of the offensive line. Campbell is nasty in the run game, technically sound in pass protection, and projects as a plug-and-play starter on either side of the line. He's been compared to Joe Thomas in terms of demeanor and approach, and if the 49ers view him that way, this could be a calculated move to secure stability in the trenches. Armand Membou is another intriguing name, a versatile offensive lineman who has the flexibility to play multiple spots. In today's NFL, that's an asset. Injuries happen, and having a young lineman who can slide from guard to tackle without a significant drop-off is rare. Membou's strength, balance, and football IQ make him a top target in this class. One wild card to keep in mind: Jalen Walker. While his frame has some scouts concerned, he's slightly undersized for a traditional edge. His tape tells a different story. Walker flies around the field, rushes with ferocity, drops into coverage with ease, and is a coach's dream in terms of effort and leadership. Saleh could view him as a movable chess piece in a defense that thrives on disguise and versatility. If Walker is available at number 8, it might prompt the 49ers to make a moderate leap without mortgaging the future. Of course, all of this comes with risk. 49ers fans need only look back to 2021 to remember how trading up can backfire. The move to select Trey Lance at number 3 came with excitement and hope, but ultimately, that selection didn't pan out as expected. Lance never became the face of the franchise, and the capital spent to get him still reverberates through the organization. The front office may be wary of repeating that mistake. But there's also a difference between missing on a developmental quarterback and drafting a blue-chip defensive playmaker or trench warrior with a more proven college resume. This time around, the 49ers wouldn't be moving up for a project. They'd be moving up for players with elite production, clean tape, and pro-ready physical tools. Whether it's Carter, Hunter, Graham, or Walker, these aren't wild projections, they're players expected to make immediate NFL impacts. And with the NFC getting stronger, San Francisco can't afford to rely solely on mid-round magic and late-round gems to stay in contention. There's also the internal pressure to consider. The 49ers came heartbreakingly close again last season. Another playoff run ended in bitter disappointment, and the window for a Super Bowl title won't stay open forever. Brock Purdy is still on a team-friendly deal, but that won't last much longer. Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, these are stars in their prime, but those primes are finite. Shanahan and Lynch know this. They've built a championship roster, but to stay ahead of teams like the Eagles, Lions, and Packers in the NFC, they need more difference-makers. A smart, aggressive move up in the draft could be the final piece. Whether it's a blockbuster deal with the Giants or a savvy leap with the Panthers, the San Francisco 49ers are in position to make a move that alters the trajectory of their franchise. If Lynch and Shanahan can identify the right player, someone who fits their scheme, matches their culture, and elevates their championship aspirations, this draft could be remembered as the moment the 49ers turned good fortune into greatness. And if they stay put at number 11? Well, it won't be as exciting, but this team has shown time and again that no matter where they draft, they always find a way to shake things up.